Hey there, everybody. Mrs. Heisey again. Well, if you watched the last video, you learned how to measure your dividers, and you can go ahead and check that off from your sheet. Remember, this pink sheet helps you in a step-by-step in case you forget what you're supposed to cut, what's supposed to come next. What we're going to do now is number 5, measure and label where the dado should be cut. Center of the dado to the end of the wood. Well, what that means is if I bring my box in here, I need to figure out where I have to cut this little groove. Now, on your plan, you had little pink pieces that you needed to cut out that had a black line in the middle. That is this part right here. When we set up our router, we set the center of our router here so we get a nice even groove cut out. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and measure out everything on our plan. What are we going to need for this? Well, real simple. You need a pencil and you need a ruler again. Okay, so what we're going to do is, first of all, we have to mark out, or we have to figure out where our pieces, our center of our dados are. And again, I said the little pink pieces right here in the center. Now, how do I know where the end of the wood is? Again, looking at our box, you'll notice we have short pieces, and then we have long pieces that are nailed to it. Okay, so we have 2 short pieces and 2 long pieces. I need to make sure on my pattern that I know where my short pieces begin and end. So I like to take the sheet and I take a permanent marker and I simply just put down little lines so I know exactly where my pieces end. So my long piece is going to run from here to here, and my short pieces are going to run from here to here. Now, when we're measuring this, we need to make sure that we measure from the center of the dado to the end of the wood. So with my ruler, I'm going to find the center of my dado, and I like to make these marks on the outside so I don't get confused on the inside here with how long my pieces are. Some of you tend to make a mistake and you put your measurements on the inside, and if you do that, it tends to make your measurements off a little bit. So the center of my dado, I'm going to mark to the outside to the end of the wood. Now, this dado is going to be on my short piece of wood, so I want to come to the short end right here. Once I have my lines created on the end there, I'm going to make my dimension line, skipping a little spot in the middle, make my arrows. Now remember, why do we skip this spot in the middle? So we can write our measurement right there. All right, now I can take my ruler and I can measure from one dimension stop to the other. And taking a look, I have 2 3/4. So I can just simply write my measurement 2 3/4 of an inch. Now, if you were counting these out in sixteenths, you would have gotten 12 sixteenths, but that can be reduced down to 3/4. So that's one of my center of the dado to the end of the wood. I just work my way around the outside and I simply just take my measurement, make a dimension stop on where I want it to go. Now with this dado that I have to create, it's going to be on my long piece right here. I always like to go to the shortest end. You only have to go to one side. You don't have to go to both. So I have my dimension stops. I'm going to create my dimension line, place my arrows, showing that I'm measuring from this point to this point, get my ruler, measure my item, and here I have 3.5 inches. Okay, go ahead, rotate my paper again, create my dimension stops, center of the dado to the end of the wood. So I'm going to measure from here to here. My measurement, I have to create my dimension lines, put my arrows down, and then I'm simply going to measure this out again. And I have 2 3/4 again. Now notice one thing, my measurement here and on the opposite end are the exact same measurement. And that's the way it should be because my dado should be the same thing because I have a straight divider going right here down the middle. All right, I only have one more dimension to level or to write down. So I'm going to mark my dimension stop from the center of my dado to the end of the wood, from here to the end of the wood. Now remember, my marker line is right here. Then I'm going to create my dimension line, skip a spot, put my arrows on there. And now I can go ahead and measure. I'm almost done. And again, this one is also 3.5 inches. All right. So now I have all of my uh, dados marked. Remember, it's from the center of the dado to the end of the wood. And this is going to help us where we have to place our groove for the dado to be cut where our dividers can fit inside. Now, you guys are so close to almost being able to cut wood and everything like that. So make sure you get these steps done. Check them off on your list. And then next time we meet in class, we're going to be able to cut out our pieces for the outside parts. Any questions, make sure you ask. Have a good day.